Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Mythology with your host Nitin Nair. We have been exploring a lot of different mythologies and a lot of different geographical regions, and we keep coming back to a few that have captivated our interest and the interest of our listeners as well. One such mythology is that of the Aztec mythology. Aztec are a civilization that has been explored by various archaeologists, anthropologists, ancient alien theorists, etc., who believe that the Aztec civilization had the key to how many of these ancient civilizations actually managed to build these amazing structures that are actually quite impossible even with the kind of engineering progress that we've made throughout the years. Most of these structures are found in areas that one is difficult to reach, and two, the civilization at that time did not have the kind of equipment or even the machinery, the kind of stone cutting equipment that they would need to build these structures. This has led to a lot of wild theories and different kinds of possibilities that are being discussed around the world. Once again, we are focused on the mythological aspects and the gods for whom these structures were dedicated to. Now, one of the primary characters in Aztec mythology is Cipactli. In ancient cosmology, the crocodile represents the earth floating in primeval waters. Now, this animal, Cipactli, was named after a survivor of the flood, Tecocipactli, or the Divine Crocodile, who lived in a canoe and later repopulated the earth. The Cipactli is also heavily featured in Mayan mythology and is also considered to have heavily influenced the much later civilizations and belief systems of the region. Now, Cipactli was a primeval sea monster, part crocodilian, part fish, part toad or frog, with an indefinite gender. It was always hungry, and the interesting thing is that every joint in his body was adorned with an extra mouth. The deity Tezcatlipoca sacrificed a foot when he used it as a bait to draw the monster nearer. Dio and Quetzalcoatl created the earth from its body. Now, this is a classic case of where gods who are usually at odds come together for the common good, and that's what happened with Quetzalcoatl and Tezcatlipoca, who actually came together to create the earth from the body of this amazing monster. In the Maya tzolko'in, the name Cipactli translates to Imix. In the Popol Vuh, the earthquake demon Sipakna is named after Cipactli. In Migan, Cipactli is Quanai. Now, this animal has an insatiable hunger which threatens to devour every creation on earth. The existence of multiple mouths also ensured that this consumption was at a rapid pace. To counter the effects of this beast, the gods then decided to kill it and use its body as land. Tezcatlipoca lured the monster in and lost a foot to its insatiable appetite before the gods were able to defeat it. They pulled Cipactli's body in 4 directions and freed the universe from its hunger. Then Tezcatlipoca and Quetzalcoatl created the heavens and the earth from its remains. The 13 heavens were made from the head of the monster. Its tail became the underworld, and its midsection became the earth. Its 4 legs became the 4 rain gods Tlaloc, Chalchihuitlicu, Quetzalcoatl, and Tecocipactli. Despite this, Cipactli was still alive, and the gods promised him or her regular blood sacrifices. When these sacrifices were disrupted, it's believed that the beast expressed his displeasure via earthquakes and volcanic eruptions. Now, the concept of the Cipactli not only explains how one of the gods was deformed or the fact that how the earth was created, it also talks about some natural phenomena like earthquakes and volcanic eruptions. And this was from the core belief system that a lot of the gods expressed displeasure by harming the people around it. This led to a lot of the human sacrifices that were common with these Mesoamerican and South American cultures, and the reason why they felt it was necessary to have regular bloodletting ceremonies, have regular people being sacrificed to their gods, and also in some cases we have seen depictions of people are actually pushed into live volcanoes as an appeasement to the gods. So a lot of this has stemmed from the legend of the Cipactli, and we believe that more study into this and the cosmology of the Aztecs, especially with the Cipactli character, can explain a lot of the links between the various South American mythologies, especially with the Mayas, Aztecs and the Incas. The Olmecs have traditionally been slightly different, and the lack of a written text or written history makes it difficult for us to really make any meaningful connections. But we believe that exploring more of the South American characters can definitely establish a link that even today archaeologists and anthropologists believe exists, but have not been able to find any kind of physical or historical texts, writings, or proof that these three civilizations were actually interlinked. It is still believed that they evolved individually and they have very little connection. There is the off chance that this one character could be the missing link that can give us a lot more insight into what happened with these civilizations and how they evolved. Thank you very much for tuning in to another episode of Mythloke with your host, Nitin Nair. This is me signing off, reminding you once again that Mythloke is the home of mythology.